What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to go over, in my opinion, one of the most fun builds in Diablo 2, the ZEALADIN. The ZEALADIN is as iconic as Hammerdins or Smiters, so Zealot Paladins thrive in the endgame, like Ubers, Organ Farming, and even D-clones. So in this video, we're going to be going over the stats, the gear, skill tree, mercenary items, and I'll even toss a few Uber runs in towards the end. So before we get started, I just want to toss this out here for everyone to hear before I get some comments or just plain questionable things said about me or my videos. In case nobody knows, there are so many different ways to play each build in this game. There is no best way to play, and there is usually a clear best in slot option for different builds, and I have always gone over different options. People play differently, and nobody is wrong, nobody's right. If it works, then it works, plain and simple. So, without further ado, let's move straight into the stat prio. As with all paladins, this is mostly the go-to. And with 95% of the builds in Diablo, we put enough points in the strength to wear our gear. Next, we put enough points in the dex to cap our block chance. Now, you want to make sure to pre-cast Holy Shield before allocating points in the dex, that way you can save more points for your vitality, because lastly, we dump the rest of our points in the vitality. So, let's move on to our skills now. Let's start off with the basics for the build. In our offensive aura section, we want to max out Fanaticism, and this is going to be the aura that we indefinitely run. Obviously, we also put a point in the Might, Blessed Aim, and Concentration as their prereqs to get to Fanaticism. Now, we're going to go over our combat skills. We want to make sure that we're maxing Sacrifice, as this is our only synergy that we have for Zeal. It gives us 12% damage per level put into Sacrifice. Now we want to put 1 point in the Holy Smite, or Holy Bolt, Smite, Charge, Blessed Hammer, so we can get down the Holy Shield. We want to make sure that we're maxing Holy Shield. As said earlier in the stats section, this is what helps us get our 75% block chance. So lastly, we head on over to our defensive auras. We want to put a point in the Prayer, Cleansing, Vigor, and we want to max out our Defiance. Now, the reason that we're going to max out our Defiance is because we're using an Exile Shield, and once you actually have the Exile Shield equipped, you'll actually have a level 14 aura, Defiance aura, as default, I guess you can say. Now, once you max it out and put more points in, you'll actually see in your stat screen that your defense goes higher and higher. This is because this actually stacks. I don't know if this is actually intended, if it was ever intended. I don't know if it'll make it through Resurrected or if it's going to be one of those things that's going to be fixed. So, it's actually a really nice thing to have. This is how we accumulate all this defense, including all the other enhanced defense on our gear and so forth. But we'll be going over that in the gear section next. So now it's time for our gear section. And please remember what I said in the beginning. This is what I use, and these are also a few other options. So keep in mind, do not flame me for something petty like not being able to read your mind and what you think is better. There's again, no right option, and there's no wrong option. There's many different items that you can wear for a ZEALADIN. This spec is very versatile from what I've seen. These are things that I've used in the past that I know what works, and I actually have proof of these videos that are going to be at the end of the guide. Now, again, the only thing wrong with this is the lack of resistances. But for the most part, as you can see here, I'm in hell, okay? And I have max fire and 47 cold, lightning, and poison. Now, I was able to clear Ubers multiple times. I was able to do every bit of content in the game. That is because of the life tap, obviously, or the life leech, I'm sorry. That comes with the build, and the increased attack speed paired with life tap, and it's something that you shouldn't struggle with, but obviously, there comes times where you do have to pop some potions, right? The build overall does work. I promise it works. Now, going into it, let's start off with our two options for helmets. The first option that I currently use is G-Face. Now, this helmet is great. It has a massive chunk of faster hit recovery, 35% chance of crushing blow, 15% deadly strike. I mean, this helmet's just amazing for us all around. You can also throw some 40-15s in. You can burr it. You can row. They're all great choices, right? So another option would be Crown of Ages. This is another great helmet. This gives us +1 all skills, another 30% faster hit recovery, the enhanced defense. It gives us a flat all resistance. This, of course, is a perfect Crown of Ages roll. It also can roll up to 2 open sockets. This helm is also double bird. As you can see, it's a 31% damage reduction. It's great if you want to sacrifice the power for more survivability. So for the next area, we're going to be going over armor. So there is a lot of different options that I personally have seen that I've used. I'm using a Fortitude in this Archon plate right now because of the 300% enhanced damage on the chest. You also get the resistances, of course, and there's just a great chunk of life, a great chunk of defense. Overall, I just like this chest. This is something that I personally run. Other options would be an Enigma if you want the teleport and you want the plus skills. It also gives you options if you want to sacrifice some defense and that damage. You can obviously get the strength that's based on character level to put more points in vitality, things like that. Another option would be Leviathan. Now, I can see why people are using this and why they would use this, because if you pair this up with a Crown of Ages, for example, that's double bird, the damage reduction stacks, so it is really, really nice. Now, just because this stacks, you're not necessarily taking 50% less damage at all times. That's not how that value works. But it is a good chunk. You do know it's noticeable. You also get 50 strength to this chest and 200% enhanced defense. It's indestructible. It has a huge defense value as is. The next one, I don't really agree with. And that's because I believe people get confused on the damage reduced by 15. This is just 15 flat damage on Arcane's Valor. Now, this is nothing. This is so small and minuscule that you just don't even notice it, right? Now, I can see if you want to hit breakpoints for faster hit recovery, you put this chest on, you get +2 to all skills. All skills is also, something that's just, it's always good for any class. But personally, I don't like it. Personally, I just go back to the Fortitude. That's just my go-to. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the weapon. And this is an obvious choice for me, but if you guys use something else, please feel free to share it in the comments down below. But the weapon of choice is Phase Blade, Grief Phase Blade. It gives us a 40% increased attack speed, paired with Fanaticism and extra increased attack speed on other gear, helps us hit that attack speed cap, which is very important for ZEALADINs. Obviously, there's a ton more, including ignoring target's defense or the 400 damage, Deadly Strike. What people overlook, in my opinion, is the percentage-based damage that you get against demons. Now, that's also based on our character level. But if you pair this with laying on hand gloves that we actually use in this build, that we're about to go over right about now, it makes for a good pairing. So the laying on hand gloves gives us the attack speed that we need to help us hit that cap. It also gives us a flat 350% damage to demons. And it also helps us get our max fire resistance. It boosts our fire resistance by 50%. These gloves, I love these gloves. I don't think I would personally replace them. Maybe if I got a godly pair of crafted with dual leech and attack speed, stats, resistance, then maybe I'd repair them or replace them. Now, if you opt not to use these and have the increased attack speed, you can use the Dracules, which is the life tap and the life stone per hit, open wound, strength. Keep in mind, if you don't use attack speed gloves, that you're going to have to compensate it for somewhere else. Whether it's a High Lord's or a Nosferatu's belt, which, in my opinion, Nosferatu's belt is awful. There's much better options, in my opinion. So let's move on to the jewelry. So in this build, again, we're lacking resistances, so I opt to go for the Mars. This is a perfect Mars. Obviously, it's super expensive. Doesn't matter if it's late league or early league. +2 to all skills, 30 all resistance. Now, option number 2 would be High Lords. And again, if you don't opt to go for the attack speed on your gloves, you can get a High Lords. It gives you the attack speed, all skills, and percentage chance for Deadly Strike based on character level. It also helps us with 35 lightning resist, which is pretty huge. Now, the third option would just be a GG crafted Ami, right? This is for every class. A GG crafted Ami or even a rare with res stats, +2 to pilot skills. There's just there's no beating crafted gear, and I know that, but I don't personally have crafted gear to show you, so we're just going with the uniques. So for our rings, there's only two real options in my opinion. One is a BK5, which is a perfect Bolkathos weapon band. This gives us +1 all skills and 5% life stolen per hit. The other one, a Ravenfrost. Now, the Ravenfrost is so important to this build because it gives us a huge attack rating boost, which we absolutely need. If you're opting to replace your Ravenfrost, make sure that you're going for sharp Grand Charms and fine small charms that gives us the max damage, the attack rate, and the life, because you need this attack rating. You need to stack some sort of attack rating, or you're just never going to hit with Zeal. Keep in mind that the sharp Grand Charms and the fine smalls, they're super, super expensive charms. Again, I personally would opt to go for a couple resistance charms to help cap. That's just me, even though I know I don't need it. It just helps in the long run. This is also without an Annie and Torch. So, I mean, an Annie and Torch would also help us with the resistances. That would bring us near cap right there. So, you would just need a couple smalls to help cap. So, for belts, we have a few options. Nosferatu's is an option. Do I advise against it? Absolutely. Because I would rather have increased attack speed on either gloves or my amulet before I would take a Nosferatu's. And the life stolen per hit, we already have a ton. Now, my choice would be Verdungo's with the 10% faster hit recovery. It helps us hit another breakpoint, the big chunk of vitality, and the damage reduced by 15%. Now, another one would be a nice, rare, faster hit recovery belt to help us hit another breakpoint. Especially if it helps roll with resistances. So, your choice. Now for boots, it's a no-brainer. Gore Riders. These are also upped, but chance to crush and blow, 15% deadly strike, 10% chance to open wounds. In my opinion, there's no other better boot. This is for every melee class. I feel everybody should just be rocking Gore Riders. Now, moving on to the shield, we have an Exile Shield. Now, this is an ethereal, perfect 45 all resistance roll. These are super hard to find. They're super expensive if you want to trade for them. But it's definitely worth it if you get the ethereal because of the extra defense, and the resistances are just important. This is something you absolutely need, and if you don't want to pay for the ethereal version, you just want a 45 all resist, then by all means go for it. Now, this shield is absolutely the best shield. If anybody rocks anything different, just feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you're actually using, because in my opinion, there's nothing better. You get the 15% chance to cast Life Tap. You get the Defiance Aura, which we explained earlier, increases our overall defense when we put more points into it in our tree. We get 2 to offensive auras. The block rate, the increased chance to block, the maximum cold fire resist. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, nothing better. This is the go-to. Now, I mean, that's it. If you made it this far, I really enjoy it, having the opportunity to make these videos, and I really appreciate everyone watching and supporting the channel. We're actually really close to 100 subs as well, so if you like the video, if you want more of this type of content, please hit the like, subscribe button, hit the notification bell down below. I'll leave links to Twitter and Twitch. Again, I really appreciate all the recent support that I've gotten from making these videos. At 100 subs, we're actually going to be getting the custom URL link. We can apply for that, which is massive for the channel. It's actually just, you know, a big goal that I've had in the last couple months. So yeah, again, thank you everybody. I'll leave a video here, a couple videos, a couple Uber kills, just to showcase the build and what we currently have. And yeah, until next time.